Subscribe to our channel for the latest NBA news, trade rumors, and breaking updates. What does Luka Doncic actually need around him to win? That is the question every Lakers fan, analyst, and front office executive has been wrestling with since the superstar guard arrived in Los Angeles. And the answer is more complicated than it sounds, because the players surrounding Doncic cannot simply be off-ball movers who stand in corners waiting for kickouts, but they also cannot be ball-dominant scorers who slow the offense down and crowd Luka's space. There is a careful balance that needs to be struck, and Rob Pelinka appears to have identified exactly the type of players who can walk that tightrope. Luka Doncic commands an offense unlike almost any other player in the NBA. His ball dominance, his ability to run pick and roll, create off the dribble, and manufacture shots from impossible angles, all of it makes him one of the most lethal offensive weapons the league has ever seen. But that same dominance creates a very specific demand on his teammates. On one hand, the guys who play with the Los Angeles Lakers superstar must be adept at moving without the ball due to his firm command over an offense. They need to read the floor, relocate to open spaces, and be ready to shoot the moment the ball arrives. On the other hand, Doncic cannot do it all by himself. The players supporting him cannot just be liabilities on the ball. They need to be threats players who can punish defenses independently when Doncic is doubled, trapped, or simply needs a rest from carrying the entire offensive load. That is the central roster building challenge Pelinka faced this offseason. Finding players who are elite off-ball movers but also capable of generating offense on their own is not easy. Most players in the league are one or the other. Finding genuine two-way offensive contributors players who can thrive both on and off the ball is rare. And that is exactly what makes the Lakers' latest additions so significant. Collin Sexton and Quentin Grimes are two players who should fit those desirables perfectly. Both of them can space out and relocate around the perimeter for catch-and-shoot opportunities. They can also break down their defenders off the dribble when necessary. This is not about two players simply filling roster spots. This is about Pelinka solving the specific equation that Luka Doncic's style of play creates. Sexton is a high-energy guard with a well-documented track record as a self-creator. He has spent years proving he can manufacture buckets on his own, regardless of the quality of the teams he has played on. Grimes, meanwhile, built his reputation as a catch-and-shoot specialist, an underrated defender, and a player whose offensive versatility has not always been fully appreciated. Together, they represent the answer to a question the Lakers desperately needed to solve. The internal excitement around these additions is real. A Lakers assistant coach speaking to Keith Smith at Summer League was excited about the additions of Grimes and Sexton for those type of reasons. Next year's Lakers are not just going to be the Doncic show. The superstar guard should have help. The coach was direct and specific. Collin will help us speed things up a bit. He's pretty good at getting the ball and going. Quentin gives us another offensive weapon, both on and off ball, and he's a better defender than he gets credit for. Collin can also heat up the ball in the backcourt with pressure too. Every word of that quote matters. Sexton speeding things up means transition offense, one of the most efficient ways to generate easy baskets in the modern NBA. Getting the ball and going signals that Sexton is seen as an ignition player, someone who can turn a defensive rebound into 2 points before the opposing defense even sets up. That is valuable next to any star, but especially valuable next to Doncic, who thrives most when the half-court offense slows down and defenses have time to collapse around him. The note about Grimes being a better defender than he gets credit for is also significant. In a Western Conference where the competition is brutal, the Lakers need players who contribute on both ends. Grimes arriving with a reputation upgrade on defense, validated by the coaching staff, suggests his role could be more impactful than outside observers currently expect. Grimes had a down year shooting the ball in 2025-26. Hitting only 33.4% of his three-point attempts. That number, on its surface, is not encouraging. Context changes everything. In spite of that, the former Philadelphia 76ers guard still thrived when given an opportunity on the catch. The new Laker was shooting 38.3% from beyond the arc on his catch-and-shoot triples. That distinction between his overall three-point percentage and his catch-and-shoot percentage is critical when evaluating whether Grimes fits next to Doncic. Luka's teammates are not going to be pulling up off the dribble frequently. They are going to be catching and shooting, and on those specific attempts, Grimes was genuinely efficient even in a down year. As a self-creator, fans and management alike will point to the second half of the 2024-25 campaign with Grimes as reason to be confident in what the talented guard can do when given the opportunity to get himself buckets. It was a small sample size, but a very encouraging one. The 76ers' offensive environment was not one that maximized his strengths. A system built around Luka Doncic, one that creates more open looks than almost any other offense in basketball, gives Grimes every opportunity to re-establish himself as a reliable perimeter shooter. His floor with the Lakers is a credible catch-and-shoot weapon who defends. His ceiling, based on what he showed in the second half of 2024-25, is a genuine secondary creator who can take defenders off the dribble and generate his own offense. That range of outcomes makes him one of the more intriguing additions Los Angeles has made this offseason. Sexton, by contrast, has far more of an established track record when it comes to generating offense for himself. While many of those squads may not have been great basketball teams, the well-traveled guard still showcased plenty of ability to find his own opportunities with the ball in his hands. His resume as a bucket getter is not in question. What has been in question, and what last season answered emphatically, is whether Sexton can function effectively when he is not the primary ball handler. Last season also showed that Sexton is capable of operating off the ball. When playing off LaMelo Ball with the Charlotte Hornets during 2025-26, the now Lakers guard shot 46.0% on catch-and-shoot threes in his 42 games there. That number is extraordinary. 46.0% from three on catch-and-shoot attempts while playing alongside one of the most ball-dominant guards in the league. That is exactly the blueprint for what Sexton will be asked to do in Los Angeles. LaMelo Ball, like Luka Doncic, commands the ball, orchestrates the offense, and demands that teammates be ready to fire when the ball arrives. Sexton did not just survive in that environment, he thrived. He shot nearly half of his catch and shoot threes, and proved his off-ball utility is genuine, not circumstantial. The argument that Sexton is merely a ball-dominant guard who requires heavy on-ball reps to be effective has been directly contradicted by the statistical evidence. He is a two-way offensive threat, a scorer who can create when necessary, and a shooter who connects when spotted up. Perhaps Rob Pelinka is quietly a Hannah Montana enjoyer, because adding Grimes and Sexton aims for getting the best of both worlds. That is not an accident. It is a philosophy. Lakers are not building around Doncic by surrounding him with one-dimensional players. They are assembling a backcourt of versatile offensive contributors who can adapt to whatever the game demands. The proof is in the pudding. Grimes and Sexton have displayed the ability to get things done on and off the ball. For Doncic, that is exactly what he should be asking for in his backcourt teammates. Defenses cannot sag off either player without paying a price. Both can handle ball pressure moments when Luka needs relief. Neither requires a heavy diet of on-ball possessions to be productive. Next year's Lakers offense will not simply run through Doncic and hope the role players knock down shots. It will feature a system where Sexton can push pace in transition, where Grimes can punish collapses with his catch and shoot efficiency, and where both guards can attack closeouts and create off the dribble when defenses overcommit to stopping Luka. The Luka dilemma, finding players who can function brilliantly without the ball while also being capable ball handlers in their own right, has a genuine answer in Los Angeles. Collin Sexton and Quentin Grimes are that answer. Now it just needs to show up on the floor.